G'day runners, Justin Thompson, Average Running PT here. So what I want to do today is talk to you about how to run longer on your long runs. But before we do that, what I want to know from you guys is if I went out and filmed some of my runs using a selfie stick and my iPhone, would that be something that you guys are interested in? So go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Tell me, do you want to see me run with a selfie stick, or would you not care one bit? So go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Also, if you guys have any links to the best selfie stick for runners, let me know about that too, because I want something that is going to actually last me more than a week and not break with my phone on the end of it. So go ahead and let me know down below. But getting right back into it, let's talk about how to run longer on your long runs. So here's one thing I want you guys to know. Time on your long run is more important than distance on your long run. Okay, so time, keeping your heart rate at a certain level is going to be the most important thing, as opposed to how far are you actually going to run on your run. So if that's the case, then what should be our metric? Should we be shooting for how fast are we running? Should we be thinking about pace, or should we be thinking about just distance? Should we be thinking about just time? I'm going to tell you guys how I do it. I always just go by time. So whenever I'm running, especially right now as I'm kind of getting back into my running, I always start with time until I get up to about 45 minutes or so of time. From there, then I'll start to kind of think a little bit more about how far am I actually running. But for the most part, it's pretty much entirely going off of time. So for example, right now, I have run in the last week 4 times, 5 times. 5 times, 3 of which were on a treadmill, and 2 of which have been outside. None of which have I really cared at all about how far I'm going. All of which have been, I'm going to run 20 minutes, or 25 minutes, or 30 minutes, or 35. So that's kind of how I've progressed too. So I did 20 minutes the first day, I did 25 the second, 30 the third, and then I did another 30-minute run yesterday because that was my first one outside, and then today I did 35. So what I'm going to do is, over the course of the next week or two, build up till I get to about 45, 50, maybe even an hour. And then what I'm going to do is think more about, okay, now how far am I actually running? Obviously when I'm running, my GPS watch is keeping track of my distance, but again, I'm not paying attention to that. I'm really just watching what's my heart rate doing and how long have I been running. And typically I'm running out and back courses, so I know if I'm supposed to run 30 minutes for that day, I need to run 15 minutes one direction and turn around, run 15 minutes back. So basically the only things that I am paying attention to are my heart rate and my time. And if that's the case, if what I'm really paying attention to is my heart rate, then I know that I need to probably end up slowing down, because I need to be keeping my heart rate in a certain zone. Now a lot of people try and keep track of their heart rate in different ways. There's different methods. I use the Maffetone method, which is the 180 minus your age, to give you your Maffetone number, or your max aerobic functioning number. And that's the maximum amount that I want my heart rate to be hitting on a particular run. Other people use the zone system, zones 1 through 5. There's some other complicated zone systems as well. The most common, I think, is 1 through 5. And typically when people are trying to stay in a certain zone, typically they're trying to run in zone 2 or so to keep their heart rate low. And that's the key to being able to run your long runs longer, is to actually keep your heart rate down so that you are burning more fat for fuel, as opposed to burning more carbs, glycogen, sugars, however you want to measure that. Now another thing that I notice is that when I get to a certain point in my runs, it's usually about a half hour into it, I'll start to notice some of my joints and muscles start to tighten up a little bit. Now, this is probably because I'm running at this kind of really slow, slogging along kind of pace, and basically I'm not really opening up my stride and opening up those joints to allow them to go through their full range of motion. So typically when I start to feel this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of throw out the low heart rate stuff for the next 20 seconds, and I'm going to go ahead and just start running. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll throw in about 20 seconds worth of a stride out just to open up those joints again. For me, it's always my hips that tend to tighten up on me. For other people, it may be their calves. For other people, it may be their ankles. I don't know. But for me, it's my hips. And I know that whenever I get out there and just start to open up my stride and throw in a stride or throw in a sprint or something like that, then what that'll do is it'll kind of reset my hip joints completely. Now, what it'll also do is it'll stimulate my nervous system a little bit more, because as I go through these really slow runs, my nervous system tends to kind of fall asleep a little bit, and I want to keep that speed and quickness alive to some degree. So what I want to do is open things up, wake up my nervous system again, so that at any point I could bust out another quick little sprint. Again, for me, this tends to happen where I tighten up and muscles tend to start falling asleep around that 30-minute mark. So usually about 30 minutes in, I'm going to throw in about 20 seconds worth of strides to open up the hip joints and to stimulate that nervous system a little bit more. Now, of course, there's other things to consider whenever it comes to running longer on your long runs. There's nutrition, there's hydration. Those are a different topic for a different day. Now, if you guys want to hear about that, then definitely let me know down in the comments. Hey, I want to hear, what do you do to be able to run beyond 60 minutes or beyond 90 minutes on a long run, nutrition-wise or hydration-wise? So if you guys want to know about that, then definitely leave that down in the comments below. Now, if you guys are liking this content, go ahead and press that like button down below and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Now get out there and move with freedom, and I will see you guys next time.